Hello, welcome back to another episode of Ruins. It's been a few weeks, which is kind of an understatement, but yeah, it's been quite some time, and because some interesting developments have occurred. So Visual Studio, the copy that I have access to, I've been reading through some of the end-user license, or end-user agreement stuff, and it... yeah, it's not very clear on whether or not I'd be able to sell my game, and it looks like it's more or less I won't be able to. And when things are unclear like this, when it comes to law, it's probably best to play it safe. So I had to find a different language that I could use. So I looked at a couple of languages, including C# in Visual Studio. I looked at Unity and I looked at Java. So I'll just run very quickly through the pros and cons of those. Here's a quick rundown of the pros and cons of the different languages that I can use. I have C#, I have Unity, which would use C#, and I have Java. So the things I need to think about are, can I confidently sell my game? So this is something I just talked about, right? If I can't sell my game, or if I don't understand the laws and everything else, then I can't confidently sell my game. So I have to put in, a con in C# because of that. However, Unity and Java, I can sell my game. I know that I can. Now, DirectX is available for Unity and C#, which means I can use shaders. Java does not have direct support of DirectX. I can make it support DirectX, but I'm not going to. That's going to be a lot of fighting with code that I don't necessarily want to do. Now here's the big one. I've spent a long time trying to get this game to work in Unity. I spent more than a couple of weeks working against the editor. So yeah, I am so angry with Unity right now. We're not on a talking basis. It's sleeping in a different bed. We just do not. We're not friends. All right, Unity and I are very much enemies right now, because I have to fight and fight and fight for everything. If I was making a 3D game, it wouldn't be such a problem. Another thing to add here that I forgot to add in my graphics is that with Java, I can draw primitive shapes on the screen, such as boxes, ellipses, lines, and such. In Unity and C#, I have limited ability in Unity, and C# does not allow that at all, because it's using only DirectX. I can get in there and try to, put in some triangles, but that's going to use a lot of different resources, and it's ultimately not worth it. They all run quickly and smoothly, so that's great. I understand the language very well, both C# and Java. Again, Unity would be running on C#. And free libraries can be used for complex issues. Yeah, Unity and Java have those free libraries. C# is not exactly something that you go in for free stuff. So those are the pros and cons that I'm dealing with, and ultimately I decided to go with Java. Okay, great. So you have an idea. I'm recording all of this out of order, and so I don't exactly know what I said, but I said something good. Anyway, so I have a lot of this game built up. I have lots of code written up for the Ruins game in Java. So I'm just going to run what I have for you right now. As you can see, I've got a little mouse that I can move around, and it's drawing at somewhere around 1400. It's going up to as much as 1700 frames per second, which is not bad. It is running very smoothly. You might see a blue box over here. That is actually my artery, and it's creating the map right now. But the map can't be seen because it's not being drawn. So that's something that's happening. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the man behind the mirror. Okay, so I have a little player object, which is not conforming to any grid. is just moving around to show that it can. I have zoom in and zoom out functionality with the mouse cursor, or the mouse scroll wheel. So all drawn objects will be able to zoom in and out. This mouse is a drawn object, but I have a different draw function for user interface elements that won't be able to zoom in or out. So yeah, that'll take care of all that. This is very much a work in progress. As you can see, I have white boxes around my mouse and around my character that are supposed to have transparencies, and I don't know why that white box is presenting itself, because in fact, I'll show you. So if I come in here and so this is in my draw absolute, so this is used for user interface elements. If I change image from what's imported to an absolute sprites mouse pointer, this would cause every UI element to use the mouse pointer sprite sheet, but oh, it's not doing it this time. It used to be that it would draw the mouse cursor correctly, but it's still showing the white box. So I don't know what's going on. That's interesting, and I need to figure it out. I am kind of at my wit's end at this point as far as that's concerned. I don't want to go through a whole lot of stages to fix it, because I want to keep the nice fast speed with the game. Anyway, now that I have things building up in Java, I can go back to my bi-weekly schedule, hopefully. And, you know, we've been really going slow with story. There's been a lot of not things happening, which I'm getting a bit perturbed about, and I'm feeling like I might get to the point where I will write the whole story myself, instead of depending on other people that have their own schedules and their own lives to live. I mean, it's nothing against them. It's just that they aren't necessarily available to spend as much time as I would like on this project. And so, you know, I'm the one who doesn't have a life, and so it makes sense that I'm the one that should be putting in the most work. You know, and I'm fine with doing the lion's share. At any rate, so the story is kind of on a hold right now. Hopefully by next video I can have better news. And art assets, yeah, those are really slow coming right now. But all in all, getting the Java built up, this is good. This is great progress. Even if I spent most of the last 2 months butting my head against the wall with Unity. I mean, Unity is absolutely fantastic when you're doing 3D graphics, and when you're trying to make something realistic. But when you're trying to do, you know, these archaic 2D graphics that have very precise dimensions to them and very precise movement, Unity just really is not built for that, and it shows. It wants to fight you on every decision that you make, and yeah, even after 2 months, I could not get a 64 by 64 pixel image to show up on the screen with 64 by 64 pixels. It would always be something different. The closest I got was 64 pixels high, but it was like 68 pixels wide, and I could not get it to work. And that's just because of the way that the camera is set up. So anyway, don't have to deal with view frustrums. Well, it was a orthographic camera, so it's not really a frustrum at that point. But anyway, all that aside, good progress, and I'll see you in 2 more weeks.